Mahoney is back tonight. We're going to tackle one of Hollywood's biggest recent lawsuits. Alec Baldwin still in the news from this lawsuit that's been going on for quite a while.
So the criminal charges have resurged themselves against Alec Baldwin. So there was this horrible incident that happened on set of a movie that he was filming where he drew a gun and shot the gun and it killed somebody and injured somebody else. He was originally indicted as a result of that situation, and then the indictment was dismissed this past spring. Well, a grand jury has re-indicted him last week on 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. And it's kind of a bizarre setup, to be honest. So the argument is that he had willful and wanton conduct, what's called reckless disregard for the situation. And, you know, none of us really know all of the facts of the situation, but that somehow he should have checked the gun before he fired it, and by not doing that, he's guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Now, he's not the one that's in charge of the weapon when it's on the set. And if you've ever been on a set, you know, the actors are they're in their trailer, they get called, they go to their spot, they do their thing, and then they leave. They're not in charge of anything else. And when you have a weapon on a set, they have people that are specifically designed just to do that, just to manage those weapons. They make sure they are where they're supposed to be. And there's a grip who makes sure that, like, your paper is where it's supposed to be in your cup, so that if we take 29 takes of this, which we don't do, but if we take 29 takes of this, that the cup is in the right spot and where it's supposed to look. That's what the grip does. But the weapons person, all they do is the weapons. They bring them on set, they make sure that everything's ready to go, and they take them off, and nobody else is supposed to touch them. And this, of course, is a SAG movie, so everybody's in a union. There's all kinds of union rules. There's never, ever, ever supposed to be a piece of live ammunition on set, ever. That is never supposed to happen. And remember, this happened before. Bruce Lee's kid was killed on a set in a very similar fashion. So, you know, arguing that Alec Baldwin is supposed to look at the gun and make sure that there isn't any, I think that's going to be a tough argument. One of the people that was supposed to be in charge of that weapon has already pled guilty and to a misdemeanor. There's another person that's also been charged with a felony as a result of the situation. I was surprised to hear that Alec got recharged, but you got a new set of prosecutors. You know, he's a big deal celebrity. Traditionally, it is harder to convict celebrities, but if they are convicted, they get harsher sentences. That's traditionally kind of how it goes. The 2 felonies, one of them carries a possible prison term of up to 18 months. So if he is convicted, I mean, that would be a possibility of him getting some sort of jail sentence. You know, remember that a grand jury has to only find probable cause. That's the lowest standard that we have, that there is a possibility that a crime was committed. That's all they had to follow. In a grand jury situation, the defendant doesn't present any testimony, the defendant doesn't testify, the prosecutors present all the information to the grand jury, and the grand jury decides if it's going to indict or not. This was a new set of prosecutors that came in and decided to revive the case and did it in a way that was possible, and so now he has to face these charges, go back and face the charges.
So I have a question, because I think some people are wondering this too, because Alec was the person that shot the gun, but wasn't he also a producer of this movie?
He was.
But this is all just from the actual incident?
I'm not sure. You know, I don't know if they're arguing because of his situation as a producer that they gave him more control of the setting. Again, I think that's going to be a tough argument without more. I mean, I think they're going to need a lot more than that he should have had some sort of notice. I mean, because not only is it not the actor's job to make sure that the weapon is in the position that it's supposed to be, they're not supposed to do any of that stuff. I mean, they're not supposed to be, you know, if an actor went over and started adjusting the camera, I mean, they could get fired for that. They can't do any of that. You have to stay in your lane. And that's part of all the union contracts, is that these people do this and these people do this, and you get on and talk in front of the camera, and that's what you do. So I think it's going to be a stretch, but he's now going to face those charges. Real quick. Involuntary manslaughter means? So that means an unintentional but a reckless disregard for somebody's safety. DUI. If you're intoxicated and you kill somebody, you didn't mean to kill that person, but you were violating the law and acting with reckless disregard to their safety.
All right, see, that's a good term we should all know. If you need to reach out to Tim for anything, just, you know, all the things on your screen will help you get there. Mahoney's got your back. is the website, right?
Yes.
And you can scan the flow code as well. Spirit Day is next. We're going to tell you all about Isaac Strong Foundation. We'll be right back.